Cry right now. Go ahead. Think of something that hurts. Your body will produce a liquid from your eyes, salt water, laced with stress hormones, and roll it down your face. No other animal on this planet does that. Dogs don't. Wolves don't. Elephants grieve, but they don't cry. Chimpanzees, our closest relatives, sharing 98.7% of our DNA, have never been observed shedding a single emotional tear. And yet you do it. You do it at funerals. You do it at movies. You do it alone in your car for reasons you can't fully explain. Scientists have been studying this for over a century, and they still cannot agree on why. But the answer, when you find it, says something about us that nothing else does. Let's start with what a tear actually is. Your eyes produce three types. Basal tears, which coat your eye constantly to keep it from drying out. Reflex tears, which flood your eyes when smoke or onions or debris get in. Every animal with eyes makes both of those. They are maintenance fluid. They are plumbing. Then there is the third type. Emotional tears. Tears that appear when nothing is in your eye, when nothing is physically wrong, when your body has no mechanical reason to produce them at all. These are unique to humans. No other species has them. And here's where it gets strange. Emotional tears have a completely different chemical composition than the other two. They contain higher concentrations of stress hormones, specifically ACTH and leucine-enkephalin, a natural painkiller your brain produces. They also contain more prolactin, the hormone linked to bonding and calm. Emotional tears are not the same liquid as reflex tears. They are something your body manufactures specifically for this purpose, which means evolution built this. On purpose. The question is why? Go back 200,000 years. Your ancestor is standing in a group of 30 people. This is everyone. This is the entire world that matters. There are no cities, no strangers, no institutions. Just this group. If you are cast out of it, you die. Alone on the savannah, you last maybe 3 days. So everything about your social behavior was shaped by one invisible pressure. Do not get removed from the group. Stay connected. Stay trusted. Stay needed. Now imagine something goes wrong. Someone you depend on is dying. Or you failed at something that put the group at risk. Or you are overwhelmed, flooded, past the point where words work. What does your body do? It cries. And here is what that does to everyone watching. Human faces are the most readable faces on Earth. We have 43 distinct facial muscles, more than any other species. We evolved them specifically to communicate emotional states to other humans. And a crying face is one of the most powerful signals in that entire system. It is almost impossible to fake convincingly. It is almost impossible to ignore. When you see a genuine crying face, something activates in your brain before you consciously process it. The mirror neuron system fires. You feel a version of what they feel. Involuntarily. Instantly. This is not sentimentality. This is hardware. Tears make that signal visible from a distance. They make the face glisten. They change the shape of the eyes. They are a biological broadcast. A signal that says, I am overwhelmed. I need the group. I am not a threat. I am vulnerable. And vulnerability, in a small tribe where everyone depends on everyone else, is not weakness. It is information. It tells the people around you what you need. It pulls them toward you instead of pushing them away. Researchers have found that people who cry in front of others receive more social support than people who express the same distress without tears. Not because people decide to help more, because the tears trigger something automatic, something ancient. Your body is using a chemical signal to rewrite the social calculation happening in every brain watching you. But there is a second theory, and it is harder to dismiss. Tears may not just be a signal to others. They may be a signal to yourself. When you cry and release emotional tears, your body is physically dumping stress hormones. The ACTH and other compounds in emotional tears are the same chemicals that flood your bloodstream during acute stress. Crying expels them. This is why you feel different after you cry. Not just emotionally different, chemically different. Your body has literally lowered its own stress hormone levels. 85% of women and 73% of men report feeling better after crying. Not just calmer, actually better, as if something was resolved, even when nothing in the external situation changed at all. Some researchers now think emotional tears are a pressure valve, a self-regulating system. When the emotional load exceeds what your nervous system can process, your body opens a drain. And your brain knows this. There is evidence that humans unconsciously seek out things that make them cry. Sad movies, sad music, stories about loss and sacrifice. Not because we enjoy suffering, but because the crying itself produces relief. The story is just the key. Your body needs to open the valve, and it will find a reason. This is why you can cry at a film about characters who do not exist. Your nervous system does not distinguish between fictional grief and real grief. It just knows it needs to release, and the story gives it permission. Here is what no one tells you. Crying alone and crying in front of others do almost opposite things neurologically. Crying in front of someone activates the bonding system. Oxytocin rises. The social connection deepens. Research shows that couples who cry together during conflict resolve it faster and report feeling closer afterward. The tears are doing biological work. They are chemically reinforcing the bond in the moment it is most at risk of breaking. Crying alone does something different. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest response. Heart rate slows. Breathing deepens. The body shifts from threat mode into recovery mode. It is your nervous system deciding the emergency is over. Standing down, beginning to repair. Both functions matter. Both are ancient, and your body knows which one it needs. So why did we develop this and nothing else did? The honest answer is we are not entirely sure. But the most compelling theory connects back to something unique about human evolution. We are the most socially dependent species that has ever existed. A lion cub is functionally independent within a year. A human child needs a decade of intensive care just to survive. We raised our young in groups. We hunted in groups. We defended in groups. We processed grief in groups. For hundreds of thousands of years, the most dangerous thing that could happen to a human was social disconnection. And emotional tears may be the most sophisticated social repair tool evolution ever built. A signal so honest it cannot be faked, so visible it cannot be ignored, so chemically loaded it changes the people who see it. And here's what makes it stranger. You still have it. Every single one of it. The business person who cries in their car before walking into the office. The person who tears up at a song they have heard 100 times. The parent crying at a child's graduation for reasons they cannot put into words. You are not being weak. You are running a 200,000-year-old piece of social hardware that kept your ancestors alive. Your body still trusts it, still reaches for it when language fails and the load gets too heavy. The only animal on Earth that cries emotional tears is the only animal that built civilizations, buried its dead, told stories across generations, and looked at the stars and wondered what they meant. Maybe that is not a coincidence. Maybe the same wiring that made us feel deeply enough to cry is the same wiring that made us feel deeply enough to build everything else. Every temple, every song, every painting ever made began somewhere in that same place. The part of you that gets overwhelmed, the part that reaches for connection, the part that cannot always find the words, the part that, when everything else fails, just lets go. There is one more piece of this that science almost missed entirely. For most of human history, researchers assumed that suppressing tears was neutral, that holding them back had no cost, that stoicism was simply a choice with no biological consequence. They were wrong. Studies now show that people who consistently suppress emotional crying have measurably higher levels of cortisol in their bloodstream over time. Chronically elevated cortisol does not just feel bad. It degrades the immune system. It accelerates cellular aging. It increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. Your body produces emotional tears because it needs to. Blocking them is not strength. It is pressure building in a sealed system. Different cultures block it differently. In many parts of the world, men are socially conditioned from early childhood to suppress tears entirely. And the data on this is brutal. Men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than women. Men report higher rates of alexithymia, the clinical inability to identify and process your own emotional states. Men are significantly less likely to seek help during psychological crisis. The research does not prove that suppressing tears causes all of this, but it does show that cultures which shut down emotional expression in their members pay a biological price. The valve was built into us. Welding it shut has consequences. Your ancestors did not have this problem. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups report that adult men cry publicly and regularly. At deaths, at reunions, at moments of overwhelming beauty or relief. and nobody reads it as failure. Because in a group of 30 people on a savanna where everyone is all you have, emotional honesty is not vulnerability. It is the price of belonging.